Chosen one, they can never forget you. That checkmate still haunts their souls. Listen closely, because what I am about to reveal will steady your heart and lift your head. And if you turn away too soon, you may miss a breakthrough that has been waiting on your obedience. The checkmate I speak of was not a game of pride, but a divine reversal that I orchestrated in your favor, and it shook those who tried to corner you. When you stood firm in truth and refused to bow to fear, I moved through you with quiet authority that they could not control. Comment Amen. They remember that moment because it exposed the limits of their schemes and revealed the covering of my hand over your life. They cannot forget you because the victory did not come from your strength alone, but from my spirit resting upon you. What haunts them is not your face or your words, but the realization that they misjudged the one I chose to defend. They believed they had trapped you, yet I turned their strategy into their lesson, and that reversal still echoes in their thoughts. Before you go any further, take a second to like the video as a sign that you receive this truth and stand with the work I am doing in you. I want you to understand that this was not the end of your story, but the beginning of a new authority that will follow you wherever you walk. You felt small when they tried to diminish you, and you wondered if your silence meant weakness, yet I was building a response inside you that did not need shouting. The checkmate happened the moment you chose integrity over revenge and patience over panic. They expected you to react with anger, but you responded with calm conviction, and that unsettled them more than any argument could. I was teaching you how to win without losing your soul, how to stand without becoming hardened. That lesson became a mirror for them, and what they saw in it was their own insecurity laid bare. Do not mistake their silence now for peace, because what troubles them is the awareness that they cannot easily outmaneuver someone who walks under my guidance. They thought they understood your limits, yet they never understood my plans for you. When they tried to close doors, I opened pathways they did not see, and your steady progress became proof that my favor is not easily blocked. You did not celebrate loudly, but heaven marked that victory with quiet approval. That is why the memory lingers in them, because it was the day they realized you were not alone. You may still carry scars from that battle, and I see every tear you wiped away when no one was watching. I allowed the pressure because I knew you would grow stronger in it, not bitter, not broken, but refined. The checkmate was not about humiliating anyone, it was about revealing who truly holds authority over your path. They felt the shift when you stopped seeking their approval and started trusting my direction. That shift unsettled their control and reminded them that you answer to a higher voice. I want you to walk with confidence now, not arrogance, because this season requires steady courage. The haunting in their souls is not because you harmed them, but because they know they underestimated someone carried by my promises. They replay the moment you stood firm, and in that replay they see their miscalculation. I allowed that awareness to remain with them so they would think twice before trying to undermine what I have established. Comment 1212. Let that number be a declaration that you believe I am aligning things in ways you cannot yet fully see. Understand this clearly, my chosen one. The victory you experienced was a sign of how I will defend you again. The same wisdom that guided you then will guide you in future confrontations, and the same peace that steadied your voice will steady it again. You are not defined by conflict, but by the growth that came through it. I have placed resilience in your spirit so that when others attempt to revisit old tactics, they will find a stronger, wiser version of you. They may remember the checkmate with discomfort, but you will remember it as confirmation that I am with you. I was shaping you in that silence, building discernment where there had once been doubt. The growth they witnessed unsettled them, because it proved that pressure only sharpened your focus instead of breaking your resolve. You must understand that when I allow a confrontation, it is never to destroy you, but to reveal the strength I have already planted within you. They assumed you would crumble under the weight of accusation or manipulation, yet you stood anchored in something deeper. That anchoring was my presence, steady and unmovable, guiding your responses and guarding your heart. They expected retaliation, but I taught you restraint, and that restraint became the decisive move they never predicted. The memory of that shift remains vivid for them because it marked the moment their narrative about you collapsed. Do not carry guilt for their discomfort. Their haunting comes from realizing that they misjudged someone who walks under divine covering. When you chose truth instead of compromise, you stepped into alignment with my will, and that alignment carries authority. Authority does not always look dramatic, yet it commands respect in unseen ways. I allowed them to feel the weight of their own intentions, so they would recognize that you are not easily pushed aside. You were not playing a game. You were walking in obedience, and obedience reshaped the outcome. Now I am calling you to move forward without lingering in that old scene. The checkmate was necessary, but it was only one chapter in a much larger story I am writing through your life. They may replay it in their minds, but you must not let it define your focus. Your future holds new ground to claim, new heights to reach, and new blessings to steward. I am preparing you for influence that requires humility and wisdom in equal measure. The same steadiness that secured that victory will carry you through greater responsibilities ahead. Have you heard about the secret ritual the government does not want people to know? Imagine if just 7 seconds could clear your debts and bring wealth effortlessly. A leaked CIA report and 4 top neuroscience labs confirm this is real. Families who were struggling are now moving into dream homes with peace of mind. But this secret could be taken down at any time. Click the link in the description and comments before it vanishes. There were nights when you questioned whether staying silent was worth it. You wondered if speaking out more forcefully would have changed the path. Yet I was teaching you that power does not always announce itself. True strength is often quiet, firm, and rooted in conviction. When you chose patience over impulse, you allowed me to orchestrate the outcome. That trust built a foundation in you that no outside opinion can easily shake. They remember the way you refused to be baited into their chaos. That refusal unsettled them because it denied them the reaction they expected. I turned what they intended for confusion into clarity for you. I turned their attempts to corner you into opportunities for growth. What haunts them is not resentment but recognition. They recognize now that your calm was not weakness, but strategy guided by my wisdom. You are entering a season where your presence alone will shift atmospheres. The authority you carry will not need constant explanation. People will sense the depth in you that comes from surviving storms without losing faith. That depth was carved during that confrontation, and it will serve you well. I am strengthening your discernment so you will know when to speak and when to stay still. I am refining your character so that promotion does not inflate you but humbles you. Remember that forgiveness is part of your elevation. Do not let their lingering discomfort harden your heart. I am asking you to release resentment so it does not take root. When you forgive, you free yourself from the weight of the past. When you forgive, you demonstrate that your confidence does not depend on their approval. That freedom will allow you to step into new relationships and opportunities without carrying old shadows. The haunting they feel can also become conviction that leads to change. I can use even their discomfort to teach them humility. You do not need to chase vindication. I have already established your standing. Let your life continue to reflect integrity and quiet confidence. Let your actions speak louder than any argument. The same grace that sustained you before will sustain you again. There will be moments ahead when you are tempted to revisit what happened, to analyze every detail, to measure every word. Release that habit. Trust that what unfolded was exactly what needed to unfold. I was present in every pause, every breath, every choice you made. Nothing escaped my notice, and nothing was wasted. Even your tears became part of the refinement that strengthened you. I am expanding your vision now. You will see opportunities where once you saw obstacles. You will recognize allies where once you feared opposition. That checkmate taught you how to read the room without fear. It taught you how to move with clarity instead of insecurity. These lessons are not temporary. They are tools for the journey ahead. Stand tall in the knowledge that you are chosen, not because you are flawless, but because you are willing to grow. I am shaping you into someone who cannot be easily shaken by criticism or flattery. The same steadiness that unsettled them will stabilize others around you. People will begin to look to you for guidance because they sense the resilience in you. That resilience is the fruit of surrender and trust. You are not meant to live in reaction to what others remember. You are meant to move forward with purpose. Let their memories remain their own responsibility. Your responsibility is to stay aligned with my direction and keep your heart clean. As you do, I will continue to open doors that no one can shut. I will continue to position you where your gifts can flourish. The checkmate still echoes, but its true meaning is growth. It revealed the difference between manipulation and maturity. It showed that when you walk with me, outcomes shift in your favor, even when circumstances appear tight. Carry that awareness into every new challenge. Know that you are guided, protected, and strengthened for what lies ahead. They thought they understood the board. They thought they knew your moves. They calculated based on the version of you that once doubted yourself. What they did not account for was the growth that had been taking place in secret. They did not see the nights you prayed instead of retaliated. They did not see the discipline you built when you chose silence over impulse. That unseen development became the turning point they never anticipated. When you stood firm, you were not performing strength. You were living it. There is a difference. Performance seeks applause, but true strength seeks alignment with me. In that alignment, you found a confidence that did not need validation. That confidence is what unsettled them. It told them that you were no longer available for manipulation. Do not underestimate what shifted inside you that day. You crossed a line internally. You stopped shrinking to make others comfortable. You stopped explaining yourself to people who had already decided who you were. You allowed your peace to speak louder than your frustration. That internal crossing is more powerful than any external victory. I want you to understand something clearly. The haunting they feel is not because you destroyed them. It is because they recognized the moment they lost control. Control was the tool they used to feel secure. When that tool failed, they were forced to confront their own limitations. You did not cause their insecurity. You simply refused to participate in it. There is a new authority in your posture now. It shows in how you carry yourself. It shows in how you respond to pressure. You are slower to react and quicker to discern. That shift is evidence of maturity. Maturity is quiet, but it is unmistakable. As you move forward, you will encounter people who test this new steadiness. They will probe to see if you are still the same as before. They may try subtle tactics, small comments, or quiet resistance. Do not be surprised. Growth always attracts examination. But you are not who you used to be, and I have prepared you for this level. Why is this 7-second CIA ritual spreading so quickly everywhere? Recent CIA leaks have revealed a strong brain ritual that triggers an instant flow of wealth. This short technique, validated by 4 neuroscience labs, is rapidly transforming lives. From heavy debt to dream vacations, this could be your path to abundance. If you are seeing this, consider yourself lucky, because the page may disappear soon. Click the link in the description and comments before it is deleted. You no longer need to prove that you are strong, you simply need to remain consistent. Consistency will speak for you. It will confirm that your transformation was not temporary. It will show that your peace is not fragile. I am building something lasting in you. There is also a deeper layer to this. The checkmate was a spiritual alignment. It was a moment where you chose my way over your ego. That choice strengthened your connection to me. When you surrender your need to win publicly, I secure your victory privately. That is what happened. Heaven moved while you remained composed. You may not realize how much that composure protected you. If you had reacted in anger, you would have handed them leverage. If you had spoken carelessly, you would have complicated your own path. But because you trusted me, I shielded you from long-term consequences. I turned what could have been a mess into a milestone. I am asking you now to let go of the need to revisit that scene in your mind. You do not need to replay it to feel validated. Your validation comes from me. Your security comes from knowing that I was with you and that I am still with you. The past does not need constant review when the future is calling you forward. There is promotion ahead, not necessarily in title, but in influence. People are watching how you handle yourself. They are observing the calm that replaced your old anxiety. They are noticing that you do not chase conflict anymore. That observation will open doors quietly. Stay humble. Let gratitude anchor you. The victory was never about embarrassing anyone. It was about strengthening you. When you keep your heart clean, you prevent pride from stealing what growth has built. Pride would undo the lesson. Humility protects it. You are entering a phase where discernment will be critical. Not everyone who smiles at you is aligned with you. Not everyone who claps for you understands you. The checkmate taught you how to read motives without paranoia. That skill will serve you well now. Trust your instincts when something feels off. I am sharpening that sensitivity in you. There will also be moments of peace where no one is challenging you. Do not mistake those moments for stagnation. Peace is part of preparation. Rest is part of growth. I am restoring energy that was drained during that conflict. I am replenishing clarity that was tested under pressure. Remember that your story is bigger than a single confrontation. The checkmate was a chapter, not the conclusion. I am weaving together experiences that will equip you for leadership, for mentorship, for influence that extends beyond what you currently see. The strength you built will benefit others. You are chosen, not because you are perfect, but because you are teachable. You allow correction, you reflect, you adjust. That humility invites my guidance. As long as you remain open, I will continue shaping you into someone who carries authority without arrogance. Let their memory of you remain what it is. It does not need your management. Focus instead on who you are becoming. Focus on the consistency of your character. Focus on the alignment of your heart with my will. Those things matter more than anyone's opinion. The haunting they feel is a reminder that truth cannot be permanently suppressed. When truth stands, it creates a shift that cannot be undone. You stood in truth. That is why the moment still echoes. That is why it still carries weight. Now, lift your eyes forward. There are new conversations waiting. There are new opportunities forming. There are spaces you will step into with a steadiness that surprises even you. The same calm that secured your checkmate will guide you through future complexities. Walk with quiet confidence. Let your peace remain intact. Trust that I am positioning you exactly where you need to be. The one who once felt cornered now moves with clarity. The one who once questioned their strength now carries it naturally. They sensed the shift in authority. They noticed that their words no longer carried the same weight over you. Where once you may have reacted defensively, you now responded with grounded calm. That calm was not indifference, it was clarity. And clarity is powerful because it removes confusion from the atmosphere. The checkmate still haunts their souls because it exposed their reliance on intimidation. They had grown comfortable, believing they could predict you. They thought they could trigger you. When you did not react the way they expected, the illusion shattered. They were left facing the limits of their influence. I was teaching you something crucial in that confrontation. I was teaching you that power does not come from dominating others. It comes from mastering yourself. When you mastered your reaction, you gained authority over the situation. That is the kind of authority that endures. You must see how far you have come. There was a time when their opinion would have shaken you for weeks. There was a time when you would have replayed every word in self-doubt. But this time, you stood steady. This time, you trusted that I was guiding you even when you could not see the full outcome. That trust strengthened you in ways you are only beginning to notice. It strengthened your boundaries. It strengthened your discernment. It strengthened your ability to detach from chaos without becoming cold. That growth is not accidental. It is intentional preparation. The haunting they feel is also conviction. When someone attempts to diminish a person I am elevating, they eventually recognize the error. That recognition can be uncomfortable. It can stir regret. It can stir awareness. You do not need to chase that realization. It is already working within them. Could the CIA really be hiding a 7-second ritual that turns money struggles into success? A confidential CIA finding exposes a unique 7-second practice that activates money, attracting brainwaves automatically. Backed by science and 4 elite labs, this simple home ritual is helping struggling people move into dream lifestyles. But this page may not stay live. Click the link in the description and comments before it is wiped from the internet. I want you to resist the temptation to measure your worth by how much they remember you. Your value does not increase because they are unsettled. Your value comes from being aligned with me. The checkmate was confirmation, not identity. It was evidence of growth, not the source of your worth. You are stepping into a season where your silence will speak even louder, not because you are withdrawn, but because you are secure. Security creates calm. Calm creates influence. Influence creates impact. I am shaping you for impact that extends beyond personal victory. There will be new challenges. Some will look similar to what you faced before. Do not be discouraged by repetition. Repetition is refinement. When similar tests appear, it is because you are being strengthened at a higher level and you are ready. The wisdom you gained will guide you. You now recognize patterns sooner. You sense manipulation earlier. You feel shifts in energy before words are spoken. This awareness is not paranoia. It is discernment. I sharpened it through experience. Continue walking in integrity. Integrity is your shield. It protects your peace. It preserves your credibility. It keeps your conscience clear. Even when others misunderstand you, integrity anchors you in truth. Remember that I am not only protecting you from opposition, I am protecting you from becoming what hurt you. The greatest victory is not proving others wrong. It is refusing to become bitter. It is choosing grace when resentment would be easier. That grace is part of your authority. It shows that your strength is not fragile. It shows that you are not controlled by emotion. It shows that you are guided by purpose. Purpose steadies you when ego would destabilize you. They cannot forget you because your composure forced them to confront themselves. When someone remains calm in the face of manipulation, it acts like a mirror. It reflects insecurity back to its source. Not everyone is ready for that reflection. Do not let their discomfort make you shrink. Do not dim your light to make others comfortable. You were not called to blend in. You were called to stand firm. Standing firm does not require aggression. It requires conviction. I am building endurance in you. Endurance will carry you through seasons where results are not immediate. Endurance will keep you grounded when recognition is delayed. Endurance will protect you when misunderstanding arises again. The checkmate was not luck. It was alignment. It was the fruit of quiet growth. It was the result of lessons learned in private. Never underestimate the power of private discipline. What is built in hidden places sustains you in public moments. As you move forward, I want you to guard your heart carefully, not by closing it, but by filtering what enters it. Not every opinion deserves space in your mind. Not every criticism deserves your energy. Choose wisely what you carry. You are no longer easily shaken. That is progress. You are no longer desperate for approval. That is freedom. You are no longer reactive under pressure. That is maturity. These shifts are signs of transformation. I am proud of the growth you embraced. I am pleased with the restraint you practiced. I am honored by the trust you placed in my guidance. These things matter more than any public outcome. The haunting they feel is temporary. The growth you gained is permanent. Do not confuse the two. Their discomfort will fade. Your strength will remain. Keep walking forward with quiet confidence. Keep trusting my timing. Keep choosing integrity over impulse. You are becoming someone who can carry greater responsibility without losing humility. You are chosen not for applause, but for purpose. Not for dominance, but for leadership rooted in wisdom. Not for revenge, but for restoration and influence, shaped by compassion. The story is still unfolding. The same presence that guided you through that decisive moment will guide you through what comes next. You are not alone. You are not unprotected. You are not forgotten. They felt the shift because they sensed you were no longer playing by the old emotional rules. You were no longer reacting from insecurity. You were responding from clarity. That clarity is what unsettled them. It told them they no longer had access to your triggers. When someone loses access to your triggers, they lose leverage. That is what happened. The power dynamic changed, not through aggression, but through growth. You outgrew the environment that once intimidated you. That growth is what still echoes in their memory. Understand this carefully. You did not become stronger because they challenged you. You became stronger because you chose to learn instead of collapse. Many people face pressure and harden. You faced pressure and deepened. That difference sets you apart. You are no longer seeking validation from those who once doubted you. That alone is freedom. When you stop trying to convince people of your worth, you conserve energy. That energy can now be redirected into purpose. I am redirecting your focus toward building rather than defending. There will always be people who attempt to test your boundaries. That is part of growth. But you now recognize that boundaries are not walls, they are clarity. They communicate what you will and will not tolerate without anger. You are learning to say no without guilt and yes without fear. The haunting they feel is a reminder that they miscalculated your endurance. They underestimated how deeply rooted you are. Roots are invisible, but they determine stability. Your roots have grown through prayer, reflection, and discipline. That kind of depth cannot be shaken easily. You may still feel moments of vulnerability. That is human. Strength does not mean the absence of emotion, it means the presence of control. You can feel disappointment without becoming destructive. You can feel hurt without becoming hostile. That emotional maturity is part of your evolution. I am expanding your capacity now. The lessons from that confrontation were not isolated. They prepared you for spaces where composure will be required daily. You will walk into rooms where tension exists before you speak. Your steadiness will calm it. Your discernment will guide it. You are becoming someone who leads without needing a title. Influence does not always come with recognition. Sometimes it comes through consistency. People begin to trust what they observe over time. They trust the person who does not fluctuate wildly under pressure.